We're continuing our coverage tonight of major indictments in Montgomery County. Now, on Wednesday, a Montgomery County grand jury indicted Judge James Purges and Clerk of Courts Mike Foley on 12 felony and misdemeanor counts.
Today, the Montgomery County Republican Party is calling for Foley to resign. Eli Burgett spoke to members of that party earlier today and has why they are pushing for him to step down.
Well, the Montgomery County Republican Party says that Mike Foley has violated their trust and the trust of the citizens. Today, we heard from a variety of county officials and Republican Party chairs on why Foley must resign.
We're going to hold him accountable. If he don't want to do what's right, we're going to do what's right as a party. And, you know, he has his day in court coming, but I know a lot of what went on there, and we don't approve of it, and he's not a part of our team anymore.
In response to Foley's 12-count indictment, the county Republican Party and several other officials have made statements calling for Foley to step down. County Treasurer John McManus says, in part, quote, "While it's important to acknowledge that defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty, I respectfully hope that Clerk Foley steps aside." Sheriff Rob Streck also reacting tonight, saying in part, quote, "These allegations are very serious, erode public trust, and must be investigated fully." Overall, the Montgomery County GOP wants the public to know that Foley's actions do not represent their overall party. Clerk Foley and Judge Purges are set to be arraigned in Montgomery County Common Pleas Court on August 15th. Back to you.
Well, cleanup is underway tonight after a train derailment in Springfield. Happened early this morning, just after 1 on North Bechtel Avenue. Springfield Police Dispatch says there were no chemicals spilled and there is no threat to the public. No one was hurt. North Bechtel will be closed while railroad crews work to clean up the derailment. Cleanup is expected to be finished by Monday. It's an ongoing investigation.
You're taking a look at the scene of a two-car crash in Trotwood. It happened this afternoon around 2:15 at the intersection of US 35 and 3rd. You can see one of those cars hit the Welcome to Trotwood sign. We are working to learn if anyone was hurt. When we do, we will update you on air and online at Dayton247now.com.
3 Columbus police officers, they are home from the hospital tonight after they suffered stab wounds responding to a barricade situation. It happened late last night after a several-hour-long standoff with the suspect. Now, Columbus police says at least one officer opened fire and 40-year-old Benjamin Wheeler was killed. A neighbor who knew Wheeler says he suffered with mental illness, and police have made runs to his house before.
They tried to talk him out. Like I said, I don't know what mental state he was in this time, but it had to be serious.
The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation is looking into it.
Well, we're following an alarming mystery tonight after a Columbus man crashed his vehicle in Yellow Springs back in May, but hasn't been seen since. Michael Colossal has been missing for almost 3 months now. Lydia Bice spoke with his family and those searching for him today.
On May 13th, the Greene County Post of the Ohio State Highway Patrol found Michael Colossal's crashed vehicle, but no sign of Michael anywhere. Today, his family told me that they've never gone more than a week without hearing from him, but now they're coming up on 3 months.
That's not like him to not call and let us know where he's at, how he's doing. So, you know, this is going on the 3rd month. So something ain't right, something's wrong.
Colossal's family is working with Ohio Landsar Search and Rescue for a large search that's going to take place Sunday morning, August 4th at 8 a.m. And they'll be searching the scene of the crash, which is near the intersection of Enon and Hyde Roads in Yellow Springs.
From what I've gathered so far in that area, it's a very bad intersection. And that it's a very bad intersection. And they just actually had another accident there recently, just within the last day or two.
Now, if you're in the Xenia or Yellow Springs area this weekend, be on the lookout for Michael. He is a 45-year-old black male. He's 6 feet tall and weighs between 240 and 250 pounds. If you have any information on him or his disappearance, call the Yellow Springs Police Department at 937-767-7206. Back to you.
Now to a crisis in the classroom story we've been following for months. Centerville's Board of Education has approved a resolution to place a new school levy on the November ballot. It's a $3.9 million operating levy that would generate over $11 million each year for the district. Now the funds will be used to maintain current educational programs, continue the district's strategic plan, and to keep up with rising costs of day-to-day expenses. Recently, the district has cut 48 positions as school officials try to balance the budget. Coming up on Monday, we're going to sit down with the Centerville superintendent and a member of the parent-teacher organization to talk about the levy. And you can find all of our previous coverage on this story, plus others like it. Just look under the Crisis in the Classroom heading in the News tab.
Well, a few showers around the area this evening, but a lot of the heavier rain that has made its way out of the area, and overall a lot quieter weather. It's been pretty active these past several days, so I'm happy to say we got some calmer weather in the forecast. A couple of lingering showers around. Can't rule out a spot shower this evening, but a lot of that is falling apart as well. So currently hanging out in the upper 60s, 68 in Springfield. We got 70 still in Sydney, but this is a little cooler actually than we've been over these past few days, with muggy conditions sticking around at least for these next couple of days. We will notice maybe a little relief, a little bit more tolerable by next week, but by late next week, we will start to see our conditions overall a little bit more comfortable and a little cooler too. But for tonight, upper 60s, can't rule out that lingering shower, but I'll time out the rest of the week coming up in a bit.
For the first time since 2019, the Rock and Green Tomato Festival is returning to Miamisburg. Night one just wrapped up about an hour ago at the city's new riverfront park. I was out there earlier speaking with the community about their thoughts on the festival's grand return.
I think this is one of the best things you could do on a Friday evening. I think it's very family friendly. I think it's probably one of the most incredible events Miamisburg has seen in a very, very long time.
A Miamisburg tradition back for the first time in 5 years.
What's going on here today is some of the most incredible food that I think we've seen in a very long time. This is a brand new place that I just moved to. Absolutely incredible, great atmosphere, great talent tonight.
The Rock and Green Tomato Festival is a staple for many, but has been on pause since the pandemic.
We are stoked. You can come completely out and not spend $1 if you don't want to.
The free two-day event is the work of two Miamisburg business owners, Ron Hope and Jack Sperry, but Tanner Banks is now the face behind the festival.
It was something that was just an idea of someone who's so iconic to Miamisburg and did so much for the town, and being able to make sure that that lives on long past anything else. So my goal is just to make sure it keeps running, put the systems in place so that, you know, even if I'm not around it, someone else is going to keep it continuing on.
It highlights local businesses while keeping things fun with everything from live music to shopping to, of course, the green tomatoes.
I had the slider, and it's very, very good. I've never had a slider, and it was a new experience, and I liked it.
It's also being held at the city's new riverfront park, so there's bound to be something for everyone.
Give it a try. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. You know, yeah. You only live once, go for it.
If you missed out today, there's still plenty of fun tomorrow, including a cornhole tournament and hula hoop contest. Now, we're also going to be out there, so come on and join us from 12 to 10 p.m. on Saturday.
A whistleblower accusing Secret Service of security failures during the assassination attempt of former President Trump. How technical issues could have played a role.
Plus storms moving out of the area. I'll time it all out for you, and I'll let you know what our weekend is looking like too. That's coming up. Here's a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by
New whistleblower allegations place the Secret Service under more intense scrutiny for the response to the assassination attempt of former President Trump at a Pennsylvania rally last month. Kayla Gaskins explains the new insight from the agency's acting director and who's being blamed in today's Rare News Conference.
This was a failure. We should have had better protection for the protectee. We should have had better coverage on that roof line.
The whistleblower placing blame directly on the new acting director of the Secret Service, Ronald Rowe, for decisions he made serving as the agency's second in command. The individual telling Senator Josh Hawley Rowe personally directed cuts to the Secret Service's counter-surveillance division. This is the team responsible for conducting threat assessments at sites prior to events. According to the whistleblower, this team did not do the typical evaluation of the site prior to the rally, and they weren't even there the day of. New video from the Butler rally showing the shooter doing a very poor job of hiding himself and blatantly running across the rooftop. The New York Times digging into the technical failures. The Secret Service missed radio messages from local law enforcement that would have alerted them to the gunman 30 seconds before he fired. They turned down offers to use a surveillance drone, and they didn't bring a system to boost agents' cell signals in an area with poor cell service. Some of the important equipment they did bring didn't work.
Well, rain starting to taper off across the area after was a pretty soggy day. Actually, past couple of days, we've managed to see a decent amount of rainfall for us, but heaviest of rain is now off to our east. Notice this counterclockwise spin. We got an upper level feature that's continuing to bring about a few light showers, but that activity is tapering off as well. We'll continue to see a small chance for showers, especially early into the day tomorrow. So this is about 7 a.m. upper 60s, spot shower possible. Continuing into the afternoon, most of our Saturday will be dry, though, with temperatures in the mid-80s. Heading into our Sunday, another hot one, actually. We're going to be in the 60s in the morning, back up to close to 90 for the afternoon. Lots of sun, but overall very summer-like. Pretty quiet weekend around the corner, so I'll have a look at our 7-day coming up in just a bit.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin revoking the 9/11 plea deal tonight originally reached with the accused mastermind of 9/11 and his co-conspirators. The Pentagon releasing a memorandum to relieve a senior Defense Department official of her responsibility in the case against Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Now, this decision effectively puts the death penalty back in place and assigns responsibility of the final decision to Austin.
Vice President Kamala Harris now has enough votes to become the Democratic Party's presidential nominee. Delegates started their virtual roll call yesterday and will continue through Monday. After that announcement was made this morning, Harris called into the meeting to thank the campaign workers.
We're going to get this done. And as your future president, I know we are up to this fight. And when we fight, everyone will say in unison, we win.
Harris said she will officially accept the nomination once voting is closed next week. Then she'll celebrate at the DNC in Chicago later this month.
And U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin also speaking with his Israeli counterparts today about U.S. force posture changes in the Middle East. The Pentagon says Austin is preparing to provide additional military support to Israel. They declined to provide details, only saying Austin had not yet decided on what capabilities to deploy.
So there could be additional units that come in with additional capabilities, as those capabilities would need to be operated by additional people. But again, I'm not going to get ahead of any decisions that the Secretary has not made yet.
Now, this comes amid rising threats from Iran and its regional proxies. Sin says she's not aware of any U.S. military unit being ordered to prepare to deploy.
All right, let's take a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam now. Relatively quiet evening outside, I believe. Let's check in with Natalie.
Yeah, a lot quieter out there now compared to especially yesterday. We had some torrential rainfall, pretty soggy earlier today as well. So still much needed rainfall across the Miami Valley. This is our latest drought monitor. So this was released yesterday. Now keep in mind, this does not include today's rainfall or yesterday's rainfall. Even that little bit on Wednesday, we saw a few showers around, but moderate drought conditions still technically in place for Greene County as well as into Clark County, but there was improvement for our counties off to the west. So we are technically ahead for the month. Of course, it's only day 2 of August, but 0.59 inches added in what we saw today. So I did some calculations. So we technically have a surplus, but we're still almost 2 inches behind since June 1st, which would be our seasonal rainfall. That's why we still have those drought conditions in place. But We do have a few showers possible, so I'll take a look at that 7-day coming up in a bit.
The city of Dayton is ready to unveil their new Seat of Life memorial in honor of those killed in the Oregon District mass shooting. How the community is trying to move on after the break.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Take Dayton 24/7 Now News with
The city of Dayton will have a moment of reflection this Sunday, marking 5 years since a gunman opened fire, killing 9 people in the Oregon District. Local artists and community leaders are ready to unveil the Seat of Life Memorial. Alex King shows us how it's helping the city move past one of its darkest chapters.
What would my friend Logan Turner want me to do?
A question that Travis Osborne has been trying to answer for 5 years. He and his friend Logan were both shot in the Oregon District on August 4th, 2019. Travis survived, Logan didn't.
Personally, it makes me feel a sense of responsibility, which I think we all have. You know, they're not here to do anything anymore. And so I see it as almost sacrificial for them, for us to be responsible to do things right to them.
9 people were killed and 17 injured that night near the entrance of the Ned Peppers bar after a shooter opened fire. The community never fully healed after that night.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's very emotional. Like, I'm getting emotional thinking about it, but their legacy is through us.
That legacy now living on through the Seed of Life Memorial. Terry Welker, the architect and team leader, says it's a place to gather.
There's the plaza of the mosaic with the steel rings and poetry. We have the Unity bench, which has poetry integrated with it, as well as mosaic. And then, of course, the sculptures themselves, which is elevated in the landscape behind the bench.
4 artists came together over a year ago to create something special.
Together, we are strong.
More than 10,000 helping hands from throughout the Miami Valley were involved in this project, including artist Jess McMillan, who led the collaborative creation of the almost 500-square-foot mosaic.
In the wake of a tragedy that rippled through our community way far out and just to deep reaches, so many people were personally affected by this. And even if they weren't personally connected to the victims, it hits on the wound of grief. And grief is the universal language that we all share.
Dayton Mayor Jeffrey Mims was a city commissioner when the shooting happened. He hopes the Seed of Life Memorial will finally help the community lean into the future while never forgetting the past.
I think we've had city members of this community who have consistently tried to find ways of recognizing and memorializing those situations and trying to turn it into something positive.
It hits you in a different way.
For Travis, it's that positive outlook helping him answer the question, what would his friend Logan want him to do? For him, it's immortalizing the resilience of a town haunted by tragedy.
You know, even though time passes and time changes and new things are going on, we can have something that's eternal that will be here to represent like what impacted us and events that continue to impact the community and how we respond to it, because ultimately it's how you respond is really what shows how, like, who you are as a community, who you are as people.
The dedication ceremony for the Seed of Life 8-4 Memorial will be this Sunday, August 4th, on the 5th commemoration of the 2019 Oregon District mass shooting downtown at the Trolley Stop Pub.
Chance for some fringe roster players to catch the eye of the coaching staff. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Explore a new place